Persecuted is somebody who is being attacked either emotionally, physically, someone who's feels threatened.
Well, it's to be treated without respect, basic human respect.
To be oppressed or to be have violence perpetuated against you due to what you believe or your ethnicity or your sex or your race or whatever. So whatever you are and what you represent, someone perpetuating violence on you because of that.
To be persecuted, I guess when someone uses violence against you with the aim of inflicting physical or mental or emotional pain.
Well, for me it means, if I follow Jesus and obey what he says to do in supporting the people who are downtrodden and people that are stepped underfoot and have had a hard time, and I'm persecuted for that, God's not going to leave that unrewarded in some way.
When we stand up for what is just and what is right, then we will be persecuted because the majority of people buy into the system that is oppressing them and they don't see what the truth is. And so, often we have to undergo persecution for righteousness being justice. Because a lot of people don't see the truth, and so it's inevitable that we will, but we don't seek out persecution, but it just will happen because of the nature of what we're fighting for.
I think it means that if someone is living for a cause that is just or that is righteous, even though they're persecuted, they're blessed because of the cause that they're fighting for, because they're fighting on the side of right, fighting God's side, and that's why they're blessed.
Well, I think they should be blessed. I mean, when I've just sort of read somewhere recently that Gandhi had said that when you are persecuted or when you have been treated unfairly, you become a bigger person, because suffering gives another dimension about humanity.
Standing up for someone else, I guess. Standing up for someone else who has been unfairly treated. That can happen anywhere. It can happen in a school situation or in a work situation. Indigenous people, because they were here first, and when we speak up on behalf of them, or if they speak up on behalf of themselves, often people don't want to accept that.
One example is I've just recently this year become friends with an Aboriginal elder, Arnie Jean, and she has her whole life, her whole adult life, been fighting for the rights of Indigenous people in Australia, particularly in the church and through the church, and has constantly undergone criticism and persecution because of what she's fighting for. And I believe that what she is fighting for is actually really just, but people in our country buy into the system that says that white people deserve to be here. We own this land, and but that's a lie. The Indigenous people actually were here first, and they own the land. So she's undergone a lot of persecution from Christians and from other white Australia for standing up for what she believes in and fighting for justice for her people.
A guy called Father John Deere. So he's a Jesuit priest in America, but not a lot of people have heard of him. And his motivation comes straight out of the message of Jesus that says, we need to love our enemies, we need to stand up in the face of evil and not be silent, because silence in a time of war is complicity with the dominant culture. We need to stand up against that. So he lives in Los Alamos in Texas, in Los Alamos in New Mexico, near one of the largest nuclear weapons manufacturing facilities. And he constantly goes out and just talks to the young men there who are either going off to war in Iraq or to the people who build those bombs. They're people who sat in church on Sundays, and they worship God and thank you God and God of peace, and they go and build bombs from Monday to Friday. So someone who is calling those people to account and saying these things don't add up. Not a lot of people have heard of the fact that he's been arrested and been to jail over 75 times for acts of civil disobedience and non-violent direct action.
when I was at school, I stood out as a Christian, and I didn't have a real good run.
Yeah, as a nurse, standing up for a patient who's not getting treated or not being heard for what's happening to them.
I went to India at the beginning of last year, and when I was in India I was really convicted about my wealth and how much I have, and really convicted to try and live more simply when I came back to Australia. So as soon as I got back, I got rid of my car and decided that I'd catch public transport from then on. I guess to save money so that I can use money for better purposes, and because of environmental impact, because the majority of the world don't own a car and don't drive a car. People go, why would you get rid of a car? Why don't you have a car? You know, and it's really confronting to them, because when you say, oh no, I decided from my faith and what I believe about our world that I don't want to have a car, people who have a car then start to question and they feel guilty. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't have a car, because you can use it for good things, and you know, you can look into how you share it or using for good stuff. But just making that choice it just puts people off a bit, I think. Like, people go, oh, that's a bit extreme or whatever. But when you look at the state of the world, I don't think it is.
First thing that comes to mind is he telling his disciples to love his enemies, to love their enemies, to pray for them, that persecute them, and to do good, which seems like a very countercultural thing. But I guess trying not to have that spirit of revenge, but trying to win over those that are persecuting you, trying to win them over with love, with prayers, and hoping that they might stop persecuting you.
His example that he was willing to even die for the cause, for what he was trying to achieve and what he wanted to demonstrate to human beings, that of his love and God's love for them, beyond all the corruption and the stuff in the world. So so that example was probably a pretty big encouragement to them, even though at first they were like, what the hell, why did this happen, sort of thing. So
we should try, no matter the consequence, to ourselves, and even though it might mean we're going to be affected or attacked because of what we believe in, we should still do it anyway, despite the consequences.
The hard things in life build your character. They give you strength to go on more. You can't just pussyfoot around. You stand for nothing. What worth are you? You're good for nothing. But we're hardened by that hard stick of life. It's pretty rugged sometimes. But we're coming out the other end a far better person, somebody that can be used by God.
When we're faced with struggles, and if they don't destroy us, then within our spirit we develop a resilience. So next time that same struggle comes along, we can respond more positively to it, or stronger to it.
I guess things have been proven over time that if someone dies for a cause, it does strengthen the resolve of other people around them, that it's, so I guess maybe it should be what does kill some people might make other people stronger.